Okay. Mr. Blackman is here for who? Hunter. Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Lamont Hunter, file number 22-03550FY, counsel appearance.
Fred Blackman on behalf of Mr. Hunter.
Okay, and you and Mr. Lamont Hunter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Hunter, today is the date that we're arraigning you on a bench warrant for failure to appear. You were previously arraigned on the underlying charge back in March 31st, 2023. You had a probable cause conference scheduled for April 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary examination scheduled for April 21st. Looks like there was a stip to adjourn your preliminary examination, and it was adjourned until June 22nd. On June 22nd, it looks like there was a further adjournment by the Ingham County Prosecutor's Office and the your counsel for their inability to proceed. That matter was then reset to August 3rd. There was no, you did not appear in court, however, on August 3rd. Did you forget about your court date?
No, ma'am, I didn't forget about it. Well, I didn't forget the date. There was just so many withdrawals. That lawyer, I now have Fred Blackman, a lawyer that was with me. She kept pushing dates out, and then she withdrew from the last case that we went to, at my last court date. So from there, they told me I had no court date, so they would send me something in the mail, or they contact me by the phone number that I gave them. During that time, I've asked the attorney for the case who withdrew. She was being very like that I wasn't, and once I paid her and she got off the thing, she just wasn't cooperating with me. She wouldn't give me any information. She told me to have to go about it by myself. So that's when I came to court. And if it wasn't for a friend, I wouldn't have even knew I had court, but he had court the same day and seen my name on the board. So yesterday, I came and turned myself in, and they told me to come back tomorrow and do it. So I did just that.
Okay. So this matter is going to be scheduled for a new preliminary examination. It's going to be on August 31st at 8:30, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I have the paper with me now.
Very good. You originally had a bond of $100 personal recognizance. It does look like there was a little bit of back and forth, and then I do see where your previous counsel did withdraw back in July, and then you have the August court date. Possible breakdown in attorney-client relationship was alleged, and so I'm sure there was some miscommunications of some sort. You do have new counsel now. I'll reinstate your bond at 100 personal recognizance. You'll make sure that you're at your preliminary examination in person on August 31st, okay?
Yes, ma'am, that's not a problem.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All of your previous bond conditions from your original arraignment will continue. Counsel, any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
When everyone's done, and then she tells you you're all set.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Willie James, file number 23-02491FY, counsel appearance.
Here in Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. James for purposes of arraignment.
Okay, you're Willie James?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. James, today's the date and the time that's set for an arraignment. I do have a felony complaint here. The allegations are that on or about August 8th, 2023, at the area of 1211 Shepherd Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly contrary to law commit the act in count one of controlled substance delivery manufacturer of cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic less than 50 grams. The allegations is that you did possess with the intent to deliver less than 50 grams of a mixture containing the controlled substance cocaine, and that this was done contrary to Michigan compiled law 333.740128.4. That's a felony with the maximum penalty being 20 years in prison and or $25,000 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed for any other felony conviction. There's a count 2 of controlled substance possession of methamphetamine ecstasy, alleging that you did knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine contrary to MCL 333.74032BI. That's a felony with the maximum penalty of 10 years in prison and or $15,000 in fines. Count 3 alleges controlled substance possession of analogs. It alleges that you did knowingly or intentionally possess the controlled substance hydrocodone contrary to MCL 333.74032B2. That's a felony with a maximum penalty of 2 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. There's a habitual offender fourth offense notice. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of 3 or more felonies or attempts to commit felonies, and that on or about February 17th, 2012, he was convicted of the offense of possession of analogs in violation of MCL 333.74032BA in the 56th Circuit Court of Eaton County, State of Michigan, and that on or about March 15, 2016, he was convicted of the offense of possession of less than 25 grams in violation of MCL 333.74032A5 in the 30th Circuit Court for Ingham County, State of Michigan. And that on or about December 18, 2017, he was convicted of the offense of possession of controlled substance delivery manufacturing less than 50 grams in violation of Michigan compiled law 333.74012A4 in the 29th Circuit for Clinton County, State of Michigan. Therefore, is subject to the penalties provided in MCL 769.12 that enhances the penalties to life if the primary offense was or has a penalty of 5 years or more, or 15 years or less if the primary offense has a penalty of under 5 years. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for the first conviction. The court shall order law enforcement to collect DNA identification sampling before sentencing or disposition if not taken at arrest. Mr. James, do you understand all of the charges and the maximum penalties attached to each charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Robinson is here for the purposes of your arraignment only, but you do have the right to have an attorney represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution. You have the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, but you economically qualify, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at the expense of the public. You understand your right to counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is he making a request for court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. James, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say, anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. You are being charged with felonies in this matter, and so you have the right to have a preliminary examination. You have the right to have the examination within 21 days of today's date, that being the date of your arraignment. At the time of your examination, you have the right to have the prosecution meet their burden, which is to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed, and then probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime. You understand your right so far?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to have a trial in this matter, and you have the right to jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses in court that the prosecution intends to call. And you have the right to call your own witnesses to a trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charges being brought against you. You understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to be considered for pretrial release from custody. We'll address your bond in just a moment. You're currently scheduled for a probable cause conference Friday, August 18th, 2023 at 9 o'clock in the morning before Judge Cynthia Ward. You have a preliminary examination scheduled for August 25th, 2023 in person at the court before Judge Cynthia Ward, also at 9 o'clock in the morning. Did you get a copy of your notice to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the purposes of his arraignment, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. You're currently living at this address on Shepherd Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you employed?
Currently not this time, ma'am.
What's your phone number?
517-885-5835.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, ma'am.
You can address bond counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. James is from the Lansing area originally. He does have family here. He's not currently on probation or parole. These are nonviolent offenses. We would request a personal recognizance bond.
Have you missed court in the past?
No, ma'am.
Bond will be set in the amount of $20,000 personal recognizance with the following conditions. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Not to travel outside the state without approval of the court. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. You'll be reporting weekly to pretrial services, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for the court at this time?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, sir.
Have a nice day.
Same to you. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joel Smith, file number 23-02307. Appearance, please.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Smith for purposes of arraignment.
Joel Conrad Smith.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Smith, today's date and the time set for an arraignment. I do have a felony complaint here that alleges that on or about March 16, 2023, at the area of 3120 South Cedar Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly in count one commit the act of assault with a dangerous weapon, that's also known as a felonious assault. It alleges that you did make an assault upon a Tiffany Isham with a dangerous weapon, that being a ladder, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than the crime of murder, and that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.82. A felony with a maximum penalty of 4 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. Your DNA is to be taken upon arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if this assault was committed in a place of confinement. You understand the charge read there and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you do have the right to be represented by counsel, and Ms. Robinson is representing you for the purposes of your arraignment only. But you do have the right to have an attorney with you to represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, or if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office appointed at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you have the right to remain silent. So anything that you say, anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. You have the right in this matter to proceed to a preliminary examination within 21 days of your arraignment date. Your preliminary examination is scheduled for August 25th at this point, and at the time of the preliminary examination, you have the right to have the prosecution meet their burden, which is to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed, and probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime. Do you understand your right so far?
Yes, I do.
You have the right to proceed to a trial on this matter, and at the time of trial, you enjoy the presumption of innocence. You have the right to jury trial. And so at the time of your jury trial, you have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront and cross-examine and question any other witnesses that the prosecution intends to call. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. And you have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used to prove or imply that you're guilty. Do you understand those rights so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before me, Judge Kristen Simmons. It's going to be August 18th at 1 p.m. You can appear via Zoom, but you need to make sure you have a video and you need to be in a quiet space appropriate to hold a court proceeding. Your preliminary examination, again, is August 25th. That's in person at the court. It's going to be at 8:30 in the morning. Did you get a copy of your notice to appear?
Yes, I will.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, I'm not.
Okay. For the purposes of his arraignment, I will enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. Let's see. Are you employed?
I'm retired from construction.
Okay, what's your home address?
I currently have 2 properties in the city of Lansing. My home is 3120 South Cedar.
Okay, is that the address of Tiffany Isham at all?
Yes, that was, I was evicting her from my property, and it was a contentious period of time.
Don't
Okay.
talk about
Does she still reside there?
No, she does not.
Okay. What's your phone number?
517-977-5827.
You can address bond, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Smith has been in Lansing since 1970. He has friends here in Michigan. He is currently retired, but he used to be a property manager. He's not on probation or parole, and he reports that he doesn't have any criminal history since 1980. We would request a personal recognizance bond.
Well, he definitely has had criminal history since the 80s. Did you forget about that, sir?
That's, I have no criminal, and that was actually in the 80s and 70s. It was marijuana related.
There's an impaired driving conviction that was in the 2006. You should forget about that.
Oh, well, that's impaired driving, drunk driving. I forgot that's criminal.
It's criminal. Okay. I don't see any other convictions since then, although I did see something was dismissed in 2018. Nonetheless, although assaultive in nature is a matter that alleged to have happened back in March. So it was quite some time ago, considering we're in August, and it sounds like the alleged complainant or victim is not in that area or living in that location. So I think this is something that can be addressed with the no contact order and a personal recognizance bond. Bond will be set in the amount of 1,000 personal recognizance with no contact with Tiffany Isham. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with her. You're not to be wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
So you're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever that is for her.
Yes,
I'm
I
sorry,
will.
1,500 feet, that's my standard. You won't be within 1,500 feet of wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. You need to make sure while you're out on bond that you don't engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release, okay?
Yes, I understand.
Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you at your court date on August 18th.
Thank you. Appreciate your efforts.
You're welcome. On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Valerie Hayes, file number 23-02495FY. Appearance, please.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Hayes for purposes of arraignment.
Okay, Mr. Hayes states the date and the time set for an arraignment. I do have a felony complaint that alleges that on or about in the range of July 25th, 2023 through August 7th, 2023 at the area of 900 Long Boulevard, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly contrary to law on or about July 25th, 23, commit the act of controlled substance delivery, manufacturing, or manufacture of methamphetamine. It alleges that you did deliver the controlled substance methamphetamine contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 333.7401 2BI, and that's a felony. The maximum penalty is 20 years in prison and or $25,000. Count 2 alleges that on or about August 1st, 2023, you committed the act of controlled substance delivery, manufacturing of methamphetamine. Again, that you did deliver a controlled substance of methamphetamine contrary to MCL 333.7401 2BI, and that's a felony with a maximum penalty of 20 years and or $25,000. And then count 3, alleging controlled substance delivery, manufacturing of methamphetamine on or about August 7th, 2023. Again, alleging that you did deliver the controlled substance of methamphetamine contrary to MCL 333.7401 2BI, and that it's a felony with a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison and or $25,000 in fines. There is an habitual offense, fourth offense notice here, stating take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of 3 or more felonies or attempts to commit felonies, in that on or about February 17, 2010, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance imitation, manufacturer, or distribution in violation of Michigan Compiled Law 333.73413 in the Second Circuit Court of Berrien County, State of Michigan. And that on or about November 9th, 2015, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance delivery, manufacturing less than 50 grams in violation of MCL 333.74012A4 in the Second Circuit Court for Berrien County, State of Michigan. And that on or about November 9th, 2015, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance manufactured and delivering less than 50 grams in violation of MCL 333.74012A4, again in the Second Circuit Court for Berrien County, State of Michigan, and therefore the defendant is subject to the penalties provided by Michigan Compiled Law 769.12, enhancing the maximum penalty to life if the primary offense was or has a penalty of 5 years or more, and 15 years or less if the primary offense has a penalty under 5 years. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for the first conviction. Mr. Hayes, do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty and the habitual offense enhancement?
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. You have the right to have an attorney with you if you appear in court or if you're being questioned by law enforcement. And Ms. Robinson is here to represent you for your arraignment only. You have the right to make a request to have a court-appointed counsel appointed at the expense of the public if you cannot afford to hire an attorney and you economically qualify for court-appointed counsel. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
Mr. Hayes, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed all the way through to trial. You have the right to have a preliminary examination in this matter. You have the right to have the preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date, that being the date of your arraignment. At the time of your examination, you have the right to have the prosecution meet their burden, which is to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crimes. You have a right, if this proceeds beyond a examination, to proceed to trial. And you have the right to jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at a jury trial by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand those rights?
Yes.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses that are brought into court against you, and you have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further in defense to the charges being brought against you. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have any questions about those rights?
No.
and you have the right to be considered for pretrial release from custody. You're currently scheduled for a probable cause conference before me, Judge Kristen Simmons. It's going to be August 18th at 1:30 p.m. That can be held via Zoom if you are in a place appropriate to hold court and you have video capabilities on your phone. Okay? Your preliminary examination is before me. It's going to be August 25th at 9:30. That's in person at the court. Okay?
Okay,
Did you get a copy of your notice to appear?
come again?
Did you get a copy of a notice to appear?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, I did.
Okay. For the purposes of your arraignment, we'll enter a plea of not guilty. Are you employed?
Not now at the moment, no.
Okay. And let's see, your home address, is that the one on Long Boulevard?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your phone number?
My phone number is 269-680-1285.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, ma'am.
You can address bond, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hayes is not on probation or parole. He's been in Lansing for 3 years, but has been in Michigan for his entire life. He does have family in the area, and he does have a child. He is not currently working at this time, but is actively looking for employment. We'd be asking for a personal recognizance bond.
Bond is set at $20,000 personal recognizance. While out on bond, you're not to use, purchase, or be in possession of drugs or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. You're not to be in possession or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon or ammunition. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. And you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all set, sir.
Thank you.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Thomas Dean, I have file numbers 21-02439FY, 19-041850T, and 19L25350620I. Counsel appearance.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Dean for purposes of arraignment.
Okay, Mr. Dean, today's date set for an arraignment on the file number ending in 439. In that file, I do have a felony complaint. It alleges that on or about on or about May 13, 2020, at 1326 Roselawn Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act in count 1 of home invasion, 3rd degree. The allegation is that you did break and enter or did enter without permission a dwelling located at 1326 Roselawn Avenue, and while entering, present in, or exiting the dwelling, did commit a malicious destruction of building less than $200, which is a misdemeanor, or the malicious destruction of buildings being a misdemeanor, contrary to Michigan Compile Law 750.110. A4. The home invasion third degree is a felony. Maximum penalty is 5 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. Do you understand the charge right there in the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have the right to be represented by counsel, and Ms. Robinson is representing you today for the purposes of your arraignment only, but you do have the right to have counsel represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and you have the right to be represented by counsel if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire your own attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at the expense of the public. You understand that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Dean, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You can plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed all the way through to trial. You have the right to have a preliminary examination in this file because you're being charged with a felony. And you have the right to have that preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date, today's date being the day of your arraignment. At the time of your examination, you have the right to have the prosecutor meet their burden to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed, and then probable cause sufficient to charge you with the crime. You have the right to proceed to a trial in this matter, and you have the right to jury trial. At the time of your trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty, and you have the right to require the prosecution prove each element of the charge which is being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt in order to prove your guilt. You have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to call witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charge. You have the right to see, hear, question, or confront any of the prosecution's witnesses in trial. You understand those rights, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You also have the right to be considered for pretrial release from custody, but we'll address your bond in just a moment. You have a preliminary examination that's scheduled before Judge Cynthia Ward, August 18th, which is a Friday, at 9 o'clock in the morning. Your preliminary examination will be before Judge Ward. That's going to be on August 25th, 9 o'clock in the morning. That will be in person at the court, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you get a copy of your notice to appear?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Are you currently employed?
I do a little bit of side work. I can't do much because of my back problem.
You do what?
A little bit of side work on cars, but I can't do much because of my back problems.
What's your home address?
2611 West Kalamazoo.
And your phone number?
It's 517-319-7194.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, Your Honor.
You can address bond, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Dean is from the Lansing area originally. He does have family here. He does work. He is an auto mechanic. He does work part-time because he does have some back issues and some physical health issues. We would request a personal recognizance bond.
You just told me you didn't work.
I said part-time, Your Honor.
Oh, I thought you said you had some under the table work or side work.
That's what I meant. Under
He's an auto mechanic, Your Honor, so he works for himself. He just takes jobs.
Okay, so you're not working?
Not for no business, no, ma'am.
Okay, sounds good. Have you ever missed court before?
Not in a long time.
I always ask that before I move to the cases that we got in bench warrant status. You were supposed to be before the court for a show cause hearing back on November 30th, 2021. For a failure to display ops that you owe $200 for, but you never called or you came to court. What happened?
I had COVID back.
You still have COVID?
No, I had it twice. I don't think I have it now. I went to the hospital and they said I didn't.
Okay, so since 2021, November, you didn't show up that day because you had COVID, but then you never bothered to take care of it?
I forgot all about it. I really did.
When do you plan to take care of this?
As soon as I get out of here, I'll take care of it.
What day is that gonna be? You're gonna be able to pay it immediately upon release? Is that what you're saying?
I will be able to borrow the money upon release, yeah.
Okay, I know here that you'll make a payment of a minimum $50 within 7 days of being released from custody, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'll give you 30 days to pay the balance of the $200.
Yes, Your Honor.
Call number 19L2535062, also in collections. July 6, 2021. You were supposed to pay $75. And then the remaining balance was supposed to be dealt with in collections. Let's see, did we make that payment in July 6, 2021, and file number 19L25? So what? Only in July 7th. You made one in July 7th? Yeah. On 7, how much? 75. Okay, so it looks like you haven't made a payment on this for 2 years.
Your Honor.
And you definitely missed court on this file too. So when I asked you earlier, have you ever missed court? And you said, not in a long time, wasn't that long ago, okay?
Yeah, yep. I understand.
Okay, when are you gonna make payment on this one?
I'll start making them immediately. We can set and arrange them like the other one, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, it looks like you still owe $184, I believe. Is that accurate? Okay, you'll pay $50 within 14 days of being released from custody on this one. And then you'll get 30 days to pay the balance.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes. Yes.
Okay, it looks like you owe $240 on the other one because there was a penalty. Is that what it was? You owe $240 now on the failure to pay or display ops because of the penalty added after you never paid for 2 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now that we've established that you do have an issue with appearing to court sometimes, bond in this matter will be set at $1,500 personal recognizance. There will be a no contact order. You're not to be at the address of 1326 Rose Lawn Avenue. You're not to make contact directly or indirectly with victim last name Haddad. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to use, purchase, or possess drugs or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or any weapon. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court, and you need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions or your payments that you need to make on these other files?
No, Your Honor.
It's okay. You need to make sure you appear in court because this is just the last chance that you're getting a personal recognizance bond, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see you at your next court date.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Samuel Feldposh, file number 23-02488 SM, counsel appearance.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Felposh for purposes of arraignment.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon. Mr. Feldposh states the date and time set for an arraignment. I have a misdemeanor complaint here. It alleges that on or about August 8th, 2023, at 4109 Birchfield Drive, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly contrary to law commit the act of count 1 of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, and that you did attempt to commit the following listed offense and did in the attempt did act towards the commission of that offense, but failed in the perpetuation or was prevented in the execution thereof, contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.92, that is assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Officer Owen Rogus and or Officer Michael McGregor and or Officer Ella Brown, police officers of the Lansing Police Department, that the defendant knew or had reason to know was performing their duties contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.81D1. That's a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 1 year and or $1,000 in fines. There's a count 2 of domestic violence alleging that you did make an assault or assault and battery upon a Jean Bell Feldposh, an individual with whom you had a child in common, or a resident or former resident of your household, or an individual with whom you had a dating relationship contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. Restitution may be ordered as that offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property, physical injury, or death to another individual. That's a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. You understand the charges and the maximum penalty, sir?
It sounds like there's 3 total charges.
Nope, there's 2 charges. Count 1 is attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. Count 2 is domestic violence.
Okay, when I was speaking with Miss Erin Robinson, I do have my paper with me. It's in my pocket. It only sounded like 1 charge is being read to me. The simple assault, which had a maximum fine of 3 years of incarceration, 3 months of incarceration. That was the only charge that was presented towards me through that call.
Okay,
You
that
are presenting
may
to
have been
me 2
that may have
charges.
been the case, sir, but this is the time of your official arraignment. So this is when we read the official charges. So what I read here is what you're being officially charged with, not with whatever was told to you in the private meeting room, okay?
Understood.
So there's 2 counts. Count 1 is attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, and then there's count 2 of domestic violence. Are you understanding that now?
I understand that. Does your report say I was compliant or non-compliant during the?
I don't have a police report. What I get is a complaint I get a warrant, and I get an affidavit of probable cause. The affidavit of probable cause supports the issuing of charges of counts 1 and 2. Count 1 again being attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. Count 2 being domestic violence. Do you understand the charges and then the maximum penalty attached to each charge?
May I ask one last question before I
No, you
answer
answer
your
my question. Answer my question.
Yes.
Okay, so you do, very good. So you have some rights that I need to go over with you. First is the right to remain silent. So anything you say, anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed to a trial. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Robinson is here to represent you for your arraignment only, but you do have the right to have an attorney with you to represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and you have the right to have an attorney represent you if you're going to be questioned by law enforcement. If you would to hire your own attorney, you can go and retain one. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have court-appointed counsel appointed at the expense of the public. Do you understand those rights? Do you understand your rights? Okay, very good. Sounds like he's standing mute, so we'll proceed with advising him further of his rights. You have the right to proceed to a trial. You have the right to a jury trial. At the time of trial, you enjoy the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses the prosecution intends to call to court against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to this charge. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. Is he pleading not guilty at this time, counsel, or is he standing mute?
Your Honor, he's pleading not guilty at this time, and he is requesting court-appointed counsel.
Okay. I'll note here that he is requesting court-appointed counsel and that he intends to enter a plea of not guilty, but at this time he is standing mute. He's currently scheduled for a pretrial conference before Judge Stacia Buchanan, August 22nd, 2023 at 10 o'clock in the morning. And he should have received Zoom instructions as well as a notice to appear. Are you aware, Ms. Robinson, if he's currently on bond or on parole or probation?
I do not have any information that supports that. He did said that he is not. He told me that he is not on any of those things.
Okay, sounds good. You can address bond.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Felposh has been in Lansing for his entire life. He reports that he is not on probation or parole. These are misdemeanor offenses. We would request a personal recognizance bond.
Okay, bond will be set in the amount of 500 personal recognizance with GPS tether. I need an address where he's going to reside. He will not be able to reside at the address of 4109 Birchfield Drive during the pendency of this matter. So you will need to provide an address prior to release. You can provide that to the police department. There's a no contact order that's going to be in place for the protection of the alleged victim. It's not to have contact directly or indirectly with Jean Felposh. Not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever she lives, works, or goes to school. Not to cause any third-party contact to be made towards her on his behalf. It's not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. Needs to make sure he appears to all of his future court dates. He not to possess a firearm or ammunition or any other dangerous weapon. Not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. Not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Okay, Mr. Feldposh, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay, what's your question?
The police were called possibly.
Talk about the facts of the case, sir, because you're being recorded right now and everything that you say can be used against you. So you don't want to talk about the facts of the case. Those kind of questions are better asked to the attorney that's going to be assigned to your case, okay?
I am asking help from the states or assistance to correct a birth certificate, the official documents of the state of Michigan.
You want to correct your birth certificate?
Correct.
Okay, and what does that have to do with this case? Are you stating that we have your birthday incorrect?
Biological father was incorrect.
What does that have to do with this case is what I'm asking.
As far as I know, that's why I called the police.
I can't speak to why you called the police. I don't have a police report here, but do you have any questions about what you were arraigned on today? Anything about why you called the police is as Ms. Robinson said, is best addressed with your attorney.
No more questions.
Okay, wonderful. Then you are all set. Once you provide us with a valid address as to where you're going to stay, then we can make sure we get that in the system, and then you can be released on personal recognizance with GPS tether, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Angelo Garza, file number 23-02490 SM, counsel appearance.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Garza for purposes of arraignment.
Okay, Mr. Garza, I have here a misdemeanor complaint that alleges that on or about August 8th, 2023, at the area of 127 Ferguson Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly contrary to law commit the act and count one of breaking and entering illegal entry without owner's permission. Allegations is that you did enter with or without breaking a certain building or structure, to wit, a house located at 127 Ferguson Street, whether occupied or unoccupied, without first obtaining permission to enter from the owner or occupant, agent, or person having immediate control thereof, and that this was done contrary to MCL 750.115. Restitution may be ordered, as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Robinson is representing you today for your arraignment only. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and you have the right to have an attorney represent you if you're going to be questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can request to have the public defender's office appointed at the expense of the public. You understand your right to counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty, and you have the right to stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed to trial. You have the right to have a jury trial in this matter, and you have the right to the presumption of innocence at trial. You have the right to require the prosecutor to prove your guilt by proving each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to cross-examine any other witnesses that the prosecutor intends to call against you at trial. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence that you believe further defense to the charge being brought against you. And you have the right to remain silent, and I have silence be used against you at trial. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is he requesting a court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
Okay, the court will also enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. He's currently scheduled for a pretrial conference before me, Judge Kristen Simmons, August 21st, 2023 at 10:30 in the morning. In person at the court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you got a notice to appear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, Your Honor.
Are you employed?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have a home address?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your home address?
830 Banghart, Lansing, Michigan, 48906.
Do you have a phone number?
517-894-9492.
You can address bond counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Garza has been in Lansing his entire life. He does have family here in the area. He is not on probation or parole. And while he is not currently employed, he is actively looking for work. So we would request a personal recognizance bond.
Bond will be set in the amount of 500 personal recognizance. There will be an order for you not to enter the address of 127 Ferguson Street. You are to report to all of your court dates and be on time. You're not to purchase or possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to travel out the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You're not to
Yes,
engage
Your
in
Honor.
any assaultive or threatening behavior. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. What is this? Do you have a case for Adriana, a file for Adriana McKenzie? I'm confused. You don't have a file, is she on bond for us? Is McKenzie's file, I'm sorry, is she on bond before 56A District Court?
Is that Eagan County?
I'm sorry?
Is that Eagan County?
Correct. That's
Yes.
what I'm asking, because, okay. So, let's see. This is a bond violation, alleging that she violated her bond in Eaton County. Why would I arraign her on that? She could be arraigned in Eaton County. I don't know what her bond is. Why does it say I set her bond? No, I didn't set her bond. Oh, they want me to sign this for her to be remanded. Is that what they want me to do? Okay. People of the state of Michigan versus Adriana McKenzie. File number is 23-0435FY. Are you Adriana McKenzie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have a PA 53 violation, which is a bond violation. It states here that you are allegedly on bond, I guess, before the 56A District Court, which is in Eaton County. I don't have a copy of your bond forms or your bond conditions. Let's see. Okay, I think that's what this is here. It does say that you are not to be in possession of alcohol or no use of alcohol, and also that you could not commit a crime while out on release. The allegation is that you violated those bond conditions. And so you would have the right to have a contested hearing on those violations. If you are found to be in violation of the bond as set by the 56th State District Court, ma'am, your bond could be revoked. You could be sentenced to a term of jail time for contempt of court or a fine of up to $7,500 for a contempt of court order. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remand you into the custody so that you can be seen by a judge at the 56th A District Court, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions at this time?
No.
Okay, you're all set.
And we are on our way right now to bring Mr. Henderson in. If you could just give us like 1 minute, please.
Sounds good, thank you. Mr. Marcellus?
Yes, Mr. Marcellus, I'm here.
How are you? I don't see
I'm very good.
Frank Nelson. Is he here? I don't see Mr. Nelson. I know that I reset this so that his check, or we can figure out where his $7,000 check was. Were you able to figure that out?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a FedEx picture of the check being delivered to his address on August 4th, 2023 at 9:20 a.m. I have a picture of the envelope on his porch, Your Honor. I'm not sure if I need to forward that over to the court, or if you can just take it as a statement from an officer of the court that I am
I'm
looking
taking
at
it
a
as a
FedEx.
statement from the officer of the court, for sure. And he's not
Thank you,
even
Your
here to dispute that. I'm assuming he must have got his money and didn't feel the need to come to court. So I believe other than that, this issue should have been resolved. Did you still need a writ to vacate, or did he already?
Yes, Your
vacate?
Honor. Yes.
He did vacate?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's right up there. It's Judge Simmons here for you.
Yeah, I'm not judge.
Oh,
I'll go all the way up. to
I'm sorry,
the ceiling.
Mr. Marcellus, did you need a writ? I wasn't sure. I
Yes,
couldn't hear
Your
you.
Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Okay, sounds. I'll note here that the writ can issue immediately.
So should I upload that, or is the court going to send that out?
I didn't hear you.
Should I have my assistant forward that to the court, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
I do. Okay, will do, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you.
Okay, and you're Mr. Reginald Henderson?
Yeah, you know me, I'm G Money.
I don't know you, G Money.
I'm a pimp. You know me. Let me laugh.
On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Reginald Henderson, also known as G Money, file number 23-02487FY, counsel appearance.
Sharon Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Henderson for purposes of arraignment.
Mr. Henderson, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm dancing.
Well, we don't dance during arraignments or court, okay?
I'm having fun, so I'm ready to get out of here.
Well, we're not here for fun. Well, maybe this is fun for you, but we're not here for fun. This is a very serious matter that we're here to address. If you can't take it seriously, or if you're unable to contain yourself for some reason, we can defer this to another date, and you can sit tight, and we'll see about seeing the magistrate tomorrow.
No, I'm ready.
Okay, very good. I have here a felony complaint. It alleges that on or about August 8th, 2023 at 500 Saginaw Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly contrary to law commit the act in count 1 of assault with a dangerous weapon. That's called a felonious assault. The allegation is that you did make an assault upon a Jennifer Cunningham with a dangerous weapon, that being a reciprocating saw, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than murder. contrary to MCL 750.82. That is a felony with the maximum penalty 4 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. Why are you looking back there?
Huh?
Why were you looking back there? Do you have a question?
Oh, well, the girl cussed at me. They shouldn't even let me in the store.
Mr. Henderson, don't talk about the facts of the case. Just answer the questions that she's asking, okay?
What'd she say?
She was asking why you were looking at the officers.
I'm saying, what she asked me?
I asked you, did you have a question because you looked back at the officers as I was reading the maximum penalty?
Oh, okay, I heard you say it.
Okay, so again, maximum penalty is 4 years and or $2,000 in fines. Your DNA is to be taken upon arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty attached to the charge, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Robinson is representing you for your arraignment only. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and if you're questioned by law enforcement. You have the right to have a preliminary examination in this matter, and you have the right to have it within 21 days of today's date. At the time of your exam, you have the right to require the prosecutor to meet their burden, which is to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed and sufficient probable cause to charge you with the crime. You have the right to proceed to a trial on this matter, and you have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You enjoy the presumption of innocence until they prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You understand those rights?
Yeah.
And you have the right to remain silent now. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, we'll proceed to trial in this matter. And then you have the right to request the public defender's office be appointed to represent you at the expense of the public if you can't afford to hire an attorney. You understand that?
Yeah.
Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
He is, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You have a probable cause conference before Judge Cynthia Ward. It's going to be on August 18, 2023 at 8 o'clock in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before Judge Ward, August 25th at 8:30 in the morning. Did they give you a notice to appear?
Huh?
Do you have a notice to appear before Judge Ward?
Good, man.
Oh, Lord help us. Do you understand what's happening?
Yeah.
What did I ask you?
They're having that paper right here.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have a home address?
What you say that?
What's your home address?
I'm homeless. I got a mental problem.
Okay. You say you're homeless and you have what problems?
A mental problem. I'm diagnosed with anxiety and depression.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be going to CMA, but I got locked up. That's why I was going in. I'm supposed to be going to substance abuse too, because when Derek Miller's gonna help me with substance abuse. That's why I'm supposed to be going.
Okay. When's the last time you saw CMH?
Huh?
When is the last time you saw CMH?
When I was in jail, I was on the list for CMA, but they said when I can get out, we continue.
Do you have a phone number?
Huh?
Do you have a phone number?
No, I don't have a phone number. I'm homeless.
Counsel, you can address bond.
Huh?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Henderson has been in Lansing for the past 2 years. He does report that he has some family here. He's not currently on probation or parole. He is not currently working at this time, but he is trying to get on Social Security disability. We would request a personal recognizance bond in this matter.
The allegations is that, at least according to the affidavit, was that he entered a public place and threatened someone with a reciprocating saw. And the allegation is that he had a reciprocating saw and either raised it or he using it in a direction, waving it around in the store. And then just based on his interactions today and his statements about his concern about his mental health, I don't believe personal recognizance is warranted, as there is a threat to the public safety. I think he needs to be treated by CMH, but I don't believe he would do it on his own. Otherwise, he would have. No, you just told me the last time you was treated was when you were in jail, because I asked you.
Yeah,
And so bond is
was
gonna be
gonna go.
set at 1,010%. So it's
I
a
was
relatively
going.
low bond. It's a relatively low bond. You can be treated by community mental health while you're in the custody, or you'll receive some treatment while you're there until you post bond. Also, while on bond, you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You need to make sure you report to all of your court dates. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or any other dangerous weapon. And you need to make sure you're not using or purchasing or possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Do you have any questions?
So how am I supposed to CMA? I catch the bus.
If that's how if you post your bond, you take the bus.
Okay. How much my bond
Okay.
is?
And it is a $1,000, 10%,
So how much that'll be?
We'll explain that to you.
$100.
$100? Oh, I get that myself.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, sir.
Oh, I get myself didn't get that.
You just filed them right